What's up, guys? Hope you're having a great day. All right, what's up, guys? Sorry about that. I was reconnecting my Pandora. Let me know if you guys can hear and see me okay. What's up, Tim? What's up, James? Cool, James. It's going good. I'm kind of wrapping up my day of work related art, and just finished out several commissions and worked on a cover gig. So now I'm going to kind of move over to working on some stuff for Cycle of the Blood Moon that I've been meaning to get done. So some more promotional stuff for that. Like I said, kind of approaching Cycle of Blood Moon, uh, definitely a bit different since it's so big. Um, Guys, make sure if you have not backed the Kickstarter, please do so. The link is in the comments. Also, for any of you guys that are super fans of nostalgic type stuff, um, the the Psycho Sal VHS tapes are on the Kickstarter. They're in the add-on section, so you'll need to make sure you back the Kickstarter first, and then you go to the add-on section and you can add the VHS bundle on. There's only 25 of them, guys, and they are going pretty quick, so don't miss out on that. It's a great value for a really, really fun item. And they are limited to this Kickstarter only. So they will not be available outside the Kickstarter. So don't miss out on them, guys. It's a great one-of-a-kind item. Yeah, I worked on this piece a couple weeks ago while I was out of town at a show, and I'm just now being able to get back to it. But yeah, I hope you guys are having a good day, man. Oh man. Thank you, man. Yeah, this one, as crazy as that might seem, this project really is. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love psychological thrillers and stuff like that. I watch tons of documentaries on serial killers and stuff like that. And I'm a big fan of classic slasher movies, etc. But yeah, I'm super excited about Cycle of the Blood Moon. I mean, that gets back to my core fandom. That gets back to my fandom of classic horror movies with vampires and werewolves and all that kind of stuff. And then I'm also pulling into it, a bit of you know um, other genres that I really enjoy. Like stuff about mythology related that has to do with like angels and demons and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm super excited. And of course, this one right here is one of the werewolves, a half blood. Like I said in the book, we've got lycans who are full bloods born that way, and then we have werewolves who are half bloods that were transformed, by lycans. Uh, in these particular, where, like I mentioned in the story, lycans have complete control over themselves. They can change whenever they want to, day or night, moon related or not. They have full control of their faculties, control of their savagery, all of that. That just comes from being born with it and having to learn over time how to control it. Then the half bloods, the actual werewolves, they they don't have much control over theirs, and they can only change on the full moon. They're completely controlled by the phases of the moon. Um, so it's definitely a different ball game with them. So this is going to be one of those characters. He's about, I guess I ought to write that down so I can remember for my own personal self. This particular one, he's about, 250 years old. He's a werewolf, so half blood. Um, and, uh, so it's like I said, it's going to be a different ball game for these guys compared to lycans. Um, and this guy's name is Reginald. I think I'm spelling that right. So yeah, so he's definitely different than the lycans in that sense. Company always on the run. Destiny. Oh, it's the rising sun. I was born, shotgun in my hands, gun, my final stand. Till the day I die. Rebel souls, deserters we've been called. Rally sounds, they all know our names. Punch sound. Gonna be a lot of shadow stuff in this one. Lots of blacks. They all gotta die. Yeah, boy, like that right there. Wood, chicka, chicka, wood, wood. Why they call me? Ad company. Gotta give them that wiry, hair. Yeah, boy, like that right there. Die till the day I die. Anybody got anything good going on this coming weekend? I will be working. What's up, Danny? There's a lot of damn shit to color in. Oh man. No, that's kind of normal. We all do that thing every once in a while. The thing you all this is the thing you ought to or you want to always remember in withdrawing, and this is also to help yourself to where you don't get frustrated as an artist. You have to realize when you first start out, you suck. There's nothing you can do about it, but do more. Do more drawing, do more, video watching, do more everything. That's the first thing that you got to do. And you need to do more a lot. Too many artists see what we do and think, oh, let me just jump in. I don't need to practice. I don't need to learn my technique. I don't need to get some kind of fundamentals under my belt so things are easier. The longer you take and you grind art, for 6 months to a year, and then start putting yourself out there, as an artist, it'll be easier on you. Too many artists right now. Now, if you're just drawing for fun, then don't worry about it. But if you are someone that wants to turn this into something, and you want to eventually make it a profession, you got to put in the time. Too many artists out there see what we're doing, and just because they can draw a little bit, they think they can jump in the ring with Mike Tyson. And that's just not how it works. We all have to pay our dues, and we all have to earn that right to call ourselves an artist. And like I said, too many think that they can just jump out there and call it a day. And then they get mad, they get frustrated and aggravated because nobody's paying attention to their artwork. Nobody's buying from them. You got to look at it realistic. Would you go to a mechanic that today's day one that they've been working on cars? Come on. So you can't sit back, and I'm not saying this is you. I'm just speaking in generalization now because I keep seeing it a lot lately. People that want to jump in this ring, so to speak, but they don't want to put in the work. And putting in the work is not drawing for 2 months. You know what I'm saying? So don't get frustrated with yourself as a new artist. I can't draw this. I can't get this right. I can't get this right. Don't get frustrated. We were all in that boat. And the problem is you're not putting in the time to learn. Because again, you can't do it in a week. You can't be drawing 2 months and go, oh shit, why is nobody buying my art? Why is nobody giving me cover jobs? The reason for that is because you haven't earned it. Let's just be honest. I didn't just show up on day one and was doing this and got cover jobs and commissions and stuff. I grinded drawing, 2 to 4 hours a day, 7 days a week for a year straight before I ever even put myself out on social media for the first time. Yeah, if you're just doing it for fun, then just have fun with it. Don't stress about it. But like I said, that subject of someone just drawing for fun, it kind of translates into a lot of things I'm seeing lately. And I'm seeing a lot of new artists trying to jump on the scene and then being upset and mad with themselves or frustrated because they're not getting any traction. I'm like, well, shit, dude, you've been here 10 minutes. So, and this, like I said, this isn't aimed at you. I'm just kind of speaking on the subject altogether now because I want to see, contrary to some of these artists floating around that's terrified of the idea of other artists being in the system, so to speak, I don't have a problem with it. I want to see more artists, trying to do something like this that they love. I like seeing people create. Another artist doesn't make me paranoid or insecure or, terrified that they're going to take my work from me. None of that shit matters to me because nobody can take work from you as long as you're, doing what you're supposed to do. Because it doesn't matter how good you are, how pretty you are, what size boobs you have, how much cleavage you show. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how long you've been in the business and how popular you are. You can't get all the business. So, seeing other artists come into the game doesn't bother me. They're not going to take my work. I want them to succeed. I want them to see them have a good time. But, like I said, you bringing up that subject, just kind of made me think of that. I've been seeing that a good bit lately with artists getting upset and frustrated. And I'm like, you've been drawing 10 minutes. Yeah. Yeah, I think and that's one of the things, again, by me doing it the way I did it, drawing for a year straight, 4 to 6 hours a day, at least 2 to 4 a day minimum, for a solid year straight, 7 days a week. It does so much for you. It allows you to enjoy just the act of drawing, but it also helps teach you how to have that mentality that you have to draw no matter what. Like, I can't wake up sick and go, unless I'm hugging a toilet, but if I wake up and, I just don't feel good today, I don't get to call it quits and turn in for the day. If I'm having anxiety problems or I'm having depression issues, I don't get to sit back and go, oh, woe is me. I'm not going to draw today because, I'm dealing with shit. No, you don't get to do that. So that drawing, 2 to 4 hours, 4 to 6 hours a day, 7 days a week, that helps you get around that. Also, the bullshit excuse of creator's block. And I'm sorry, it's a bullshit excuse. You draw because you have to. You're not drawing because you want to, So a lot of artists need to kind of get a hold of themselves and realize that you got to put in the time. Nobody's just going to show up on day one and be buying your commissions and giving you cover jobs and all this shit. So whether you're drawing, and like I said, by doing that every day, it teaches you, kind of just draw for the sake of drawing, which is the purest form of it, it's definitely the purest form of art is just drawing for the sake of drawing. So it helps you with that. Like I said, it helps you get used to the workload, and then it helps you get used to drawing no matter what, that you don't get to use bullshit excuses and all this other shit why you can't work. So it teaches you a lot of things, and I think that's extremely useful. And before anybody chimes in with I've got a full-time job, it's hard for me. Yeah, it's hard. I had a full-time job when I was doing it too. So I do my full-time job, for 8 hours a day, and then I go home and draw for 2 to 4 hours a night. So, it's tough. But anything worth doing is never easy. So. Suck it up and do it. I'm a big believer on the whole suck it up and do it. You can't let your thoughts and your issues and shit control you. I mean, like I said, I deal with depression. I deal with the same kind of anxiety and shit a lot of other people deal with, and I can't sit back and let it control me. Just can't. It'll win every time. So keep that in mind if you're an artist. It's not easy. It's never going to be easy. And you're going to sacrifice a lot of things around you, but it's worth it in my opinion. Too many people let their personal insecurities and issues control them day to day, and you got to put that shit on lockdown. And like I said, I get it. It's not easy. It's especially dealing with depression or dealing with anxiety. It's hard. But one of the ways I avoid it, and maybe that's not the healthiest way, but the way I avoid a lot of my insecurities and the depression problems is I bury myself in work. The more I'm concentrating on this, the less time I have to think about my woe is me problems, But like I said, a lot of people in the art industry, they're not dealing with real shit. They just like to post their woe is me shit so they can get people to give them attention and feel sorry for them. And they can use it as an excuse not to do shit and and it's just a wrong way of doing it. Because most people that I know that definitely deal with depression and deal with stress and anxiety, they don't really put it on social media. You know what I mean? They kind of keep it to themselves and they grind and they work their way through it. And I'm not saying that applies to every person, but it applies to a lot. Yeah, it's just all, it's just all having a good time. You want to enjoy what you're doing. You want to chat with the fans, and that helps too. Like me chatting with you guys and having these little hangout moments while I'm working on stuff. It definitely helps. I mean, it helps me deal with a lot of my personal issues. Helps distract me from my shit. That's why I'm so grateful, when you guys show up and hang out. I'm definitely grateful when you guys show up and hang out. It, like I said, it helps me deal with my personal shit. Just having conversation and, well, I don't know if it necessarily helps me deal with my personal shit. It helps distract me from my personal shit. And I'm grateful for that. Oh, there's a lot to color in. And if there's anyone here who are asking questions and I'm not replying to your questions or answering, please understand that I may not be seeing your comments for some odd reason. Um, um, hang on one second. But yeah, we realized, what's up, Miss Delgado? We realized the other night that that I wasn't seeing some of the comments that were posted like on the group. So if you're saying something and I'm not replying to you, it could be because of that reason. So make sure you're watching the video on, even though it may be shared to a group, make sure you're watching the actual video itself, I guess, from my page. Like I said, for some reason, it acts a little weird sometimes. Yelling at the kids. Boy, this post I got up on my page is going to be interesting come tomorrow at 24-hour mark. But yeah, feel free to. Yeah. I mean, the feed always does that. You know, it'll bounce in and out. People joining, leaving. Sadly, a lot of people, you know, they just clear their. You see them. They're not actually in the video. They click on the notifications to clear their notifications, which puts them into the video, and then they leave. Like they can't even be bothered to say hello. That's just the way a lot of people are. They just kind of a lot of sadly you'll realize as in this industry, a lot of people are just on your friends list because it benefits them to be on your friends list. Uh, for viewing. So people can see, oh, okay, he's friends with so and so, so I guess I'll take a friend invite also. Sadly, people collect names. A lot of people collect names. They're not here to socialize. They're not here to interact. They're just here either waiting for free shit, or they're just using our names as a way to try to give themselves, a little street credit, or I don't know how you word it. It's really weird. I mean, even though I can't see everything everybody does all the time, I don't really want nobody on my friends list that I don't want to know what they're doing, in the sense of, other creators and stuff, and kind of being proud of them and what they're doing. But yeah, even with other artists and creators, I mean, for the most part, they don't give two shits what we're doing. All they care about is themselves. I mean, that's just the way it goes. That's just the way it goes, man. You just gotta not worry about it. Just do your own thing. I just go live to do my own thing. And if people show up, they show up, man. If they come to hang out, man, they come to hang out. What's up, Euro? Uriel. And these chains, you can't stop me. Anna Murray. Gotta have the full moon, man. Gotta have the full moon. You know what? We'll have some fun. This character, I was going to name him Reginald. But you know what? We're going to have some fun. In the chat there, you guys give me your best male first name. I'm not really worried about a last name right now. Give me your best male first name. And it needs to be a name that's kind of reminiscent of, around the 1500s. So it does need to be a name that's kind of suits the era, because the book takes place in the 1800s, but this guy's about 250 years old. So I need a name from around like the 1600s. So give me your best male first name from the 1600s, and I'll pick the best one, and that will be this guy's name, and you guys will be helping create a character. I mean, otherwise I'll just, look them up, but that'd be kind of cool, right? You guys can kind of help. How often do you get to see that happen? Almost never. Most artists don't want to give up any damn control when it comes to naming shit. But you know what? I done named pretty much all the other characters, so. And in case you're wondering why I just don't put a bunch of X's and just call it a day, and then black it in when I ink it, I like to do fully rendered design ideas. Ooh, Tobias. Uh-oh. Stay your ass up there. Tobias. That's not a bad one at all. Ooh, Aramis. That, damn. You guys are just coming out the gate with some heat. Holy shit. Damn. I need to widen that arm a little more. Damn, I'm listening to Wolf by In This Moment. That's kind of cool. I'm the big bad wolf. Oh, Ulrich. That's a good one. And a bit of a Viking style name, if I remember correctly. Damn, that's 3 good ones. Oh, I'm going to have to write those down. I'll have to find some other. I'll have to use those names for several things. That's some good names. Let me find a pen. I'll dig that Ulrich. Yeah, those are good. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Damn, I wasn't expecting everybody to throw out 3 damn good names. Man, Aramis. Man, that's a good one too. Hmm. Yeah, Solomon's a good one. That one's a little too like used in my opinion, but that's a good one though. Solomon's a great name. Um, Damn, man, that yeah. Oh man, Solomon's just man, it's been used in so much stuff, but that's a good one. Um, I still feel like that arm is. I think that needs to be. Yeah, Yorik's a good one. Oh. Yeah, like I said, all three of those are good ones. I think I'm gonna have to use all three of those for something. Um, yeah, I think I'll use. I think I might use Tobias for this one. Yeah, I think I kind of like that. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, we'll call this guy, but I'm still going to use Aramis and Ulrich. Um, I might use them. There's two vampires that are in the book that are actually like in their teens. Of course, vampires are born. Full blood vampires are born, and they age. They do age normally. Well, not normally. They age extremely slow, but as far as from infancy to adulthood, they age, and then their aging slows down even more. So normally when they hit around the like mid 20s, that's when their aging will slow way down unless they were changed later in their life. Half bloods, but pure blood vampires, the ones that are born, they're actually born and they grow up and they age and then they stop when they get to a certain age. It almost comes to a complete stop. um so I may use Aramis and Yorick as those two young vampires because they're actually twins. And yeah, like I said, I like Solomon. It's a great name. I think it gets too much use because I've seen Solomon, the name Solomon, in a lot of stuff in movies and books, and still a great name though. But I think I'll use Yorick and Aramis as the twin vampires that are they're like 16 or 17 or something like that in the book. So yeah, I think I'll use it for that. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that, guys. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Guys, if you hadn't had a chance to back the Kickstarter for Psycho Sal, please make sure you go do so. Also, the new add-on is on there too. It is what time is it? I gotta keep an eye on the time. It is the VHS bundle. Damn it. I'm gonna have to move that up. That lip is too damn short, in my opinion. Um, that bundle right there is on the Kickstarter and is active. So you get the Psycho Sal VHS cassette tape with the Psycho Sal actual art case that the cassette tape goes into, and then you get a Psycho Sal style blockbuster card. So that's on the Kickstarter right now. It's in the add-ons section. Um, so if you've already backed the Kickstarter, just go into the add-ons and you can add that on to your current order. If you have not backed the Kickstarter yet, you'll need to back the Kickstarter in order to have access to that. But I mean, you can get a $10 cover on the Kickstarter. You know what I mean? Yeah, and the links at the top of the comments here. I don't know. Can you pin? Yeah, there's the link right there. I got a star next to it. I don't know what that means, but excuse me. All right. What should we do? I'm thinking up here, maybe some. How about we start adding tree limbs, man? Them spooky, dead style tree limbs. You know, some just happy little tree limbs. Got to add those. Gotta have the spooky tree limbs, man. Just happy little spooky tree limbs. Gotta have the spooky tree limbs, man. And for anyone who is outside the US, even though Kickstarter acts weird about letting us put a shipping cost for outside the US, if you want to back to Kickstarter and you're outside the US and you have no problems paying the shipping cost over, or you know, to send it to you, back to Kickstarter, just leave the address portion blank, which means when I go to ship the books, I'll have to contact you on Facebook and collect your shipping address. And at that point, you can pay, you know, whatever the shipping is to ship it to your part of the world. You know, I don't mind doing that. I've done that for lots of people. Because like I said, I know some of you guys that are fans of my work, you guys are from outside the US. So definitely don't be afraid to, you know, to reach out and let me know, and then back to Kickstarter. And then, like I said, when I go to ship it, we'll just make sure you guys get your books. Super easy peasy. This butts for no let. I'm kind of doing this like, you know, obviously this like upper kind of view. So we're going to kind of put the trees kind of like, you know, coming in alone, and they're back farther, of course. give it that classic, werewolf kind of image, I alone. Stand alone. Alone. My time. Excuse me. Pardon moi. Let's thicken that branch up a little. All right, let's see. Okay, so now we need some coming from this way. I was watching earlier, well, not watching, but listening to some YouTube stuff where they were talking about the witch, Delphine, from Nolans. Dude, and she's in Cycle of the Blood Moon. She's one of the witches in this timeline in the early 1800s. So, and dude, she was, man, like I knew most of her backstory, but like I said, I watched something earlier that gave a bit more in depth. And wow, man, that lady was something else. Like, so, which, like I said, I knew she was pretty rough. I mean, again, that's why I chose her as one of the characters for this book, because I needed someone that was just, hey, to really be a true bad guy. Yeah, that's all you do, brother. You just kind of keep redoing it, man, until you figure out what works. There's been lots of times where I've had to do that with a piece, even professionally. All right, let's see. Okay. All right. Ah, no problem. What's up, Miss Terry? Hope you're doing well, Miss Terry. Because I know you're a big fan, so I'm going to ask because I know you're not on Facebook tons and ton. While I got you here, have you went and backed the Kickstarter yet for Psycho Sound number 5? Because Ryan Kincaid's got a cover on there along with some other great artists. And for anyone new here, here are the covers for Psycho Sound number 5. There's my cover, my Risque Naughty cover. There's the Ivy Cosplay cover. Here's Ryan Kincaid's cover, Anna Zuhl's cover, Sean Forney's cover, Ken Hunt's cover, Ruth Lucas's cover, Amy Good's cover. And then in the add-on section, we just added the Blockbuster bundle, the Psycho Buster. So you have to back to Kickstarter, and then in the add-on section, you can add on this particular item if you want it. But it comes with an actual Psycho Sal VHS tape. It comes with the actual case that it goes in with the cover art and everything on it. And it comes with a Psycho Sal membership card that looks like a throwback to the Blockbuster. So if you hadn't had a chance to back the Kickstarter yet, please make sure you go do so. Yeah, definitely do, Miss Terry, because all of the guest artist covers and every other bit of the goodies, the medals, oh my God, the medals are gorgeous. The glow-in-the-dark foils and stuff like that. They are only on the Kickstarter. They will not be available outside the Kickstarter. So you will not be able to order them from me later on after the Kickstarter's ended. So guys, please don't forget. Show your love, show your support back to Kickstarter. Tons of great goodies on it. Like I said, from the different tiers, the insane cover designs. From gold medals to from medals to gold foils to glow in the dark foils to the Psycho Sal Blockbuster bundle on the add-on. So go check it out. Make sure you grab your favorite covers and definitely throw us some love on there for it. I promise you, you won't regret it. It's a lot of great stuff. And if you haven't read the book, if you're new here, like I said, and you haven't read it, it's a really, really good read. So yeah, go check it out. If you've already backed it, thank you so much. I appreciate you tremendously. But like I said, especially the Blockbuster bundle, the VHS, that will not be available outside the Kickstarter, and it won't be back on the Kickstarter again. That is exclusive, to this Kickstarter. You know what I mean? But yeah, make sure you guys go back it. It's so badass, man. I can't stress. Oh, actually, yeah. You may not know this, Miss Terry. These are two characters that are going to be in my next book, Cycle of the Blood Moon. That's the one I was talking about that night. I think you may have been here for that when I was first telling the story about what it has to do with. Well, these are two of the characters. This is Abaddon, so I'm still working on him. But this is Abaddon. He is one of the fallen angels, like Lucifer. The demon of destruction, I think, is his label. And this is Tobias. And he's one of the, in my book, there's full-blood Lycans, and then there's half-blood werewolves, humans that were changed by Lycans. And this is Tobias. He's one of the werewolves in the book, so. But yeah, so I'm trying to, I work on, regular stuff during the day, and then here in the evening from around 3-ish to 4 o'clock on, I try to work on some of these. Thank you, Miss Terry. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm doing, because, when I did Psycho Sal, really and truly, the only characters I really designed on that were, I had a basic loose design and overview of Special Agent Victor Gray and Sarah Dinks. So I knew what they were going to look like, and I knew what TL was going to look like, Tony, the victim in issues 4, 5, and 6. And I, of course, knew what Psycho Sal was going to look like. But Psycho Sal was the only one that I fully fleshed out design-wise. The others, I just kind of had an overview design done. But with Cycle of the Blood Moon, there's so many intriguing and interesting characters in it, that I kind of want to do the layout designs for all of them. Or all the, the main ones. So like, I'll show you an example of what I'm talking about. So like, that's Tobias. He's one of the half-blood werewolves. That's Abaddon. He's one of the fallen angels. This is Angelique. And this one is still, I've got a lot to do on this one before it's done. Those wings are going to take forever. But she's one of the angels, along with, you'll also see Michael and Gabriel in the book. And this one's, I still have a lot to do on this one, but this is going to be one of the, sorry for the glare, this is going to be one of the female demons, that's in the storyline with Abaddon and Lucifer. Yeah, you guys will actually get to see my rendition of Lucifer too. And, and Lucifer is going to be a bit different. You see how beautiful, how evil looking, Abaddon is. Lucifer is there's two versions to him. There's the version that he still tries to show people where he's all beautiful and just real angelic. But then there's the version of him where it's a more demonized version. So you guys will get to see that also. And then this character is Lucius. He's one of the main characters that are one of the Lycans. Yeah, me too. Like I love the mythos of the the Bible. I've probably read the Bible twice in its entirety. Then I've also read a lot of the so-called lost books and stuff like that. And so I've read about the different angels and stuff like that. What's up, Daniel? New Cycle Sal rolling. You talking about the Kickstarter? Oh yeah, I went way bigger on this Kickstarter. I've already got about almost $5,000 invested in this newest issue of Psycho Sal out of my own pocket that's already paid. But yeah, so and that's why Cycle Blood Moon, I kind of wanted to do these design concepts for the different characters, because it's a whole different ballgame with this book compared to Psycho Sal. With Psycho Sal, it's a real tight knit storyline that's just around those handful of characters. Whereas Cycle the Blood Moon, even though I'm bringing that perspective changes into Cycle the Blood Moon, there's going to be portions of the book that's told from the Lycan's perspective of what's going on, then the vampires, then the angels, like we were talking about the other night. You're going to get to meet some new style characters in the whole angel side of it, because we have three types of angels. We've got guardians, which are warriors, generals, like Gabriel and Michael especially. But then you also have these angels called these angels and demons called collectors and whisperers. And so you've got angels that can whisper encouragement into people. And the same thing goes for demons. They can whisper bad things into people. That little, that, like, we've all experienced that. Where we've had that moment where where you're in that moment where you could either lash out, and so you've got that thought going through your head, oh, I could just punch him. Now, of course, I'm talking on a minor level here, but but this is a good example that everyone has experienced. You're in that moment where you have this whisper in this thought in your mind that someone's pissed you off, someone's wronged you, and you should hit them. But you also have this kind of thought in your mind, just let it go. It's not a big deal, and you walk away. So that's that in this storyline. Those are either angels or demons, whisperers. And they're there to just mess with mess with the what's the word I'm looking for? The scales. Now they're not doing it on that small level. What they're doing it on major levels. So like in the case of the angel whispers, like I was explaining this the other night, when I was explaining it. So like with the angels, like here's an example of something they would try to be whispering. Let's say, like I said, they can't interfere. All they can do is just whisper. So let's say there's someone who is meant for something larger in this world. You know, they'll save a school bus full of children at some point, or they will stop a mad gunman at some point, or they will discover the cure for some kind of terrible illness, and they need to live. And let's say they're in a moment where they were crossing a street and they're about to get hit by a car. That's where that angel would step in and whisper to a bystander to save them, or, you know, even though it could cost them their life, and in some cases it does, but they whisper that, you know, run out into traffic, save that person, and they do it. So that's what a whisper would be. They're not, because you can still choose not to go through with what's the thought in your head, so it's still a bit of free will, but they kind of implant that. Whereas then you have, let's say you have someone who's having a terrible day and they're angry at the world and they're at their last straw, and they're vulnerable, and, you know, let's say they're standing, you know, on angry at their boss and stuff like that, and you know, and they're contemplating acting out, you know, whether, you know, doing harm to their boss or something like that. That's where demon whisperers come in, where you're on that super level of where you're about to do something that you can't turn back from, and they try to whisper to you to turn the scales, you know, turn the tide into their favor. Because at the end of the day, between heaven and hell, it's still a war for souls. It's just technically no one is supposed to physically interfere. They can just give suggestions, you know, things like that. You know, or someone that, you know, they whisper in someone's ear to push someone in front of a moving vehicle, you know, those kinds of things. So you've got those, and then you have collectors, you know, so collectors, and that applies to demons and angels too. And collectors, and that's who Angelique is, the angel that I showed you a few minutes ago that I'm not done drawing. She's a whisperer. She loves mankind. She loves the concept of what, you know, in the storyline, what God created and stuff. You know, but keep in mind, God, they haven't heard a single peep from God in like 1,000 years. So, you know, but they're still just kind of following the standing orders and stuff that God has given over time. But he's been gone for like 1,000 years. And so she loves humanity. Like, she understands the greatness that humanity could become, you know, if they could put down jealousy, if they could put down greed, all of that. So she's super, super in love with humanity. But then you also, like I said, you have collectors. Now, collectors are the angels or demons that show up when someone does pass on, you know, to either move them into heaven, so to speak, or move them into hell. So you've got angels that'll show up to collect, you know, and it isn't a case of who's saved and who's not. Like, it's not that type of story. It's to a degree, it's a little bit like Egyptian beliefs, you know, where your heart is weighed against your deeds in life. So that's kind of how this is, you know, you kind of move on to heaven or move on to hell, depending on how you lived your life, that kind of scenario. So there's it's a lot of moving parts. Like I said, I truly don't even know. Hang on one second. I truly don't even know if I can get it in 20 books. Because again, with the, you know, with the the differences of the characters and them being so damn interesting the way I've written their profiles. I want to hear all their stories because, like I said, you're gonna, you're dealing with, you're dealing with witches. You're dealing that are trying to resurrect this Lycan, blood god from 200 years prior to where this story is taking place, and it's dealing with an actual legit witch from New Orleans, the witch Delphine. That was an actual slave owning witch in New Orleans in the 1830s. And so she's in this story. So you're getting a little bit of real, involvement there. But she's trying to resurrect this Lycan that witches 200 years ago had imbued with this blood god's power, and he almost decimated the human population in Europe. And the Lycan clans had to combine with, had to help, the vampire clan and houses and stuff fight this thing to stop it. And it decimated a lot of their numbers too. So now we're 200 years, later, and a group of witches, including the witch Delphine, is trying to bring that back. And like I said, and don't get it twisted, the vampires in this book, they're not doing it because they want to be heroes or anything like that. Humans to them is pure cattle. I mean, it really is. I mean, yeah, some of them are friends with humans and they grew up around them. And, so you got that. But at the core of, the ones that have been alive for, 500,000 years, humans are cattle. But now they don't, it's not a sense of they're not murdering humans day in and day out. Like they can feed off humans and wipe them and not have to kill them. Most of the time they don't ever kill anyone unless they get caught up in a blood frenzy. And, and that usually only happens with new vampires. Like I said, we've got full blood vampires who were born that way. Then we have vampires who can be turned. They're not as powerful, of course, as full-born true bloods, for lack of a better word. So they're helping at this point, trying to get it stopped, because at this point, if Delphine and the other witches are able to resurrect the blood god, they won't have the numbers to stop it. It absolutely decimated their numbers in the first go around. And then, of course, you got 200 years of vampire hunters, werewolf hunters, et cetera, that have messed with their numbers too. So it's absolutely imperative. And that's kind of where the angels get pulled into the storyline, and Lucifer, because even though the angels on standing orders are not supposed to physically interfere without given permission. And like I said, God has been gone for 1,000 years, give or take. So, Angelique understands what's happening, and she's trying to convince Michael to allow them to intervene. And of course he's a general. I don't do anything without being commanded, kind of thing. I have my standing orders, and these are, he's very, Michael's a hard ass, and rightfully so as a general of, God's army. And so she, her with her love for humanity, she's trying to convince that. So that's where the perspective changes come in. So you're going to get, these perspective changes with the Lycan clan, where you're seeing their viewpoint, their story of what's happened. You'll get to see some flashbacks of that battle. And then you'll see Eric, not Eric, what was his name? Emmerich, one of the leaders of one of the vampire houses. You'll see their perspective and how they view all of this and what's going on. So you'll get to see some interaction from them. And then you'll get to see the interaction between Angelique and Michael. And so you'll get that perspective, and you'll get to meet these characters, like I said, the Watchers and the Collectors and the Whisperers. And then, of course, you'll also get to hear the perspective of Lucifer and Abaddon and the other demon. You know, because Lucifer's, you know, if they resurrect it, you know, it's a win-win for him because of the amount of souls that he'll collect from it. You know, because it all turns into straight murder. So, you know, it kind of falls into his realm. Yeah, this one's got, like I say, it's got a lot of moving parts, man. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to tell it in 20 issues, but I'm gonna try my damnedest to. It's definitely one of those things. Like I wish I was a writer. Like you know, I can write this stuff out and like what I need to happen and who the characters are and what's going on. Like I can write that. I just don't know how to write right. You know, because if I did, this would be a novel. There's no doubt about it. Like it would probably be like that damn thick because it's the characters are too damn interesting. Um, you know, it's God, man. I mean, every single one of them. I mean, like I said, the backstories and the information I've got written on every character. I mean, it's really involved and it's really interesting characters. You know, it's not there's not a lot of just fodder in it. I mean, hell, there's two vampire characters that are like 16 years old. They're trueborns. Now, so vampires in this world, when they're born vampires, purebloods, they age kind of normal. It's still slower than humans, but what I mean is they age until they hit about the mid-20s range of their ages, and then their aging almost stops completely. Vampires do age, so you'll see some that are 1,000 years old, 500 years old, and they will be a little bit older looking than some of the younger ones that's 100 or whatever. But so they do go through puberty and they get to that early mid-20s range and they stop aging. So there's two 16-year-olds, 15, 16-year-olds in there that are twins, purebloods, and of course now they've been on Earth like 60 years or something like that, but they're only like 16 years old. Those characters are a trip, man. They're smart asses. They finish one another's sentences, very sarcastic, they're that kind of attitude. I appreciate it, Daniel. I mean, I've got a writer for the book, for the comic. I've got writers for that part, but if I ever need an extra hand on it, I'll definitely keep you in mind. But because I'm sure I'll use the same writers that I've been using, for Psycho Sal to keep it consistent. But I'll definitely keep you in mind though if I need to grab an extra writer for something, even if it's for this or something else. But gotcha. I'll definitely keep you in mind for that then. Send me, if you get a chance, if you've written work already, like if you have published novels, short stories, novels, send me, a PDF or something of something you've done, and so I can read it, because I know it's some point. Now, sadly, I'll be straight honest with you. This will be way to hell down the road, because I still got 5 issues of Psycho Sal to finish on this first storyline, and then I got like 20 or so issues of Cycle of Blood Moon to do. But at some point, I want to actually convert Cycle of Blood Moon into a novel. So I will be looking for a novelist at some point. But that's, I'm not going to front with you. That's way, way down there. I mean, that's years down the road. Yeah, this one I'm super excited about, man, because I'm big on horror in general. But you get into werewolves and vampires and shit like that. That's my blood right there. I mean, I love slasher movies and I love suspense movies or found footage, and I love thrillers. I love horror just in general. But when you get down to the main bread of werewolves and vampires and things like that, I'm all over it. So we'll see. Like I said, it's a lot to do. It's a lot going on. I've got like 3 more characters. Like I'm not going to do profile pieces like this, fully rendered cover quality pieces on every character. But it's going to be some of the main ones, because some of these designs will make it into covers. So that's why they're fully rendered, fully done. You know, it'll be certain books that'll have certain people on the cover. Like if we're dealing with a story, one of the books that's dealing with the storyline of the angels, you know, I'll have Michael or I'll have, you know, Angelique on the cover, and on the one of the books where we're talking to spending time with the Lycan House, clan. I'll put one of those characters on the cover. So I'm only going to do a few of them fully rendered. The others I'll just do some loose little basic designs, you know, height and weight and, you know, complexion and stuff like that. And, you know, yeah, man, have a good night. Take care. But yeah, I'm going to get off here in a second. I get dinner started. Guys, please make sure you go back Psycho Sal. The link is in this comment section at the very top. Serial killer, New Orleans, 1980s. Great story, great quality artwork and material and everything. The book is top notch. Issue number 5 is what we're currently on. Grab your favorite cover on the Kickstarter. Grab your favorite add-ons. You can also find issues 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the add-on section if you need the back issues. So yeah, go check it out. Show some love. Share it out if you haven't. Definitely back it if you haven't. I promise you 100% you will not regret backing it. It is a damn good story. And I know everybody says that shit about their projects, but I'm telling you, it's a damn good story. I've got people that aren't even horror fans addicted to Psycho Sal. So yeah, so go check it out. I love you guys. Be badass. Yeah, definitely check, Miss Terry. Definitely check, because we only have like 18 days left. So don't miss out, Miss Terry, because I know you're a fan of my artwork, but I know you're a fan of Ryan Kincaid's artwork also. And his book will not be available outside the Kickstarter. None of those covers, other than my cover, will be available outside the Kickstarter. So you guys, please go check your Kickstarter. Make sure you got it backed, because they don't take any money from you today. They don't take the payment till the Kickstarter ends in 19 days or something. So you got plenty of time to save your money if you need to. Just go back to Kickstarter. Like I said, none of that will be available outside the Kickstarter. You won't be able to go back and buy this stuff on a future Kickstarter. You understand? So don't miss out, guys, because there's some badass covers on there. Ryan's my favorite one on there, and he absolutely killed it. Like I said, there's some badass metals on there. There's some glow-in-the-dark foils. There's some, what was the other one? Gold medal or something like that. I can't remember. But anyway, lots of goodies. And definitely check out the VHS tape. Now, it's not a real movie, so don't buy that damn thing thinking you're going to watch a Psycho Sal movie. It's just a blank, cassette tape, but it's classic VHS, tape with the case with the artwork on it. And then you get a Psycho Sal membership card that looks like a Blockbuster card. So, yeah, go check it out. Enjoy it. And you guys have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for tuning in and letting me talk about my stories and hanging out with me while I worked on this piece of Tobias. I still got a bunch I got to do with the background and whatnot. I still need to finish the wings and some more shadows and stuff on Abaddon. But yeah, guys, I'm glad you're excited about it, because I know I am. But you guys have a great night, and I'll chat with you later. See you later, Miss Terry. See you later, everybody.